Well, okay, pop culture aficionados out there in the podcast world, you, believe it or not, I don't care if you don't believe it because it's true. You are listening to the Top 5 podcast, and I'm super duper excited, as I always am, to do this show because I fucking love it more than life itself. And here you are with myself, Kris McPeak, and Annie Pruit. Hello, Annie Pruit.
Hello, big sister.
And oh my God, this is like our very favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. Annie has a beer. I do not have a drink. I should go get one, but that would slow down our process. And we've already been talking for an hour. So Annie has to go to bed.
But this is so worth it.
This is so worth it. So we have, okay, first let me just say, I'm going to remind everybody that Annie and I come up with these themes. You know, we figure it out. Like we come up with some cool shit and we hope that you all like it because we like it and that's just the way it is. But, you know, we really do want to know what you think. So if you hear a show and you're like, oh my God, Annie's number one pick was crazy or Kris's number one pick was stupid, email us because we have an email address. And the whole point of having that email address is so we could, you know, connect with our community, which is, you know, not happening if y'all don't reach out and email us. So that email address is hello@thetop5podcast.com. hello@thetop5podcast.com. So shoot us an email, tell us what you think of the show, and give us some themes because, you know, we've got plenty, but it's always good to get new ideas, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
We're in the new idea business sometimes. Yeah. But today we're following up on a lovely show that we did a week or two ago. And we got all into this origin story thing and realized that all of our origin stories that we wanted were fellas.
Yeah.
And it's like, what about the ladies? So what are we doing today, Annie?
We are doing the top 5 origin stories for female characters in movies.
Female characters in movies. Oh, okay. Well, I got to take this off because I pulled a TV person in there and I got to pull that off. Okay. So TV be gone. Alrighty. So the origin story meaning, so you've seen a movie, you've seen what's happened within the 90-minute to 5-hour whatever experience, and you see what that character's done. And in some cases, you even get flashback, expository material, whatever. But we feel that we are so interested / connected in these characters that we want to know what really happened in their lives before the credits roll in whatever movie that was. So that's kind of where we're going. And I don't know. I have some classic films on my list, and I have a couple contemporary things. I'm going to be really curious to see where our overlap is, if we have it, because we don't always have it, regardless of the fact that we are siblings who sometimes share the same brain.
Absolutely. Yes.
Which is hard to do when you're in Kansas and I'm in California, but nonetheless, we make it work.
We do.
Okay, so I'm going to get started, right? Number 5?
Yes, you are. You're going first. Yes.
Okay. I am going to go with the science fiction heroine of the ages, Ellen Ripley, of the Alien, whatever you want to call it, series.
The franchise.
The Alien franchise that started in 1979, Ridley Scott. Crazy horror film / sci-fi film that became a action franchise, then became a kind of weird David Fincher thing, and ended with Winona Ryder and Ripley and the alien like cuddling, which, you know, I never understood that because that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But if you just take Alien and Aliens and think about Ellen Ripley coming into that first movie, like how did Ellen Ripley join the company, in air quotes? How did she become the officer on the Nostromo? And where'd she train? Who were her parents? Like, she have kids? Was she in a relationship? Was there some serious baggage that we haven't already figured out about her? We really don't know. We do not know a whole lot about Ripley before what happened in in Alien and then Aliens, although, we can assume there was a child in her past because of the way she bonded with Newt. But nonetheless, that is my number 5. I would like an origin story featuring Ellen Ripley.
So I love Ellen Ripley, and she may or may not have been on my potentials. So
cool.
So the kids and I absolutely nerd out on the Alien and Predator like movie franchise, like all of them. We've seen them all, but there is no greater film than Aliens. So, which I saw in the theater, and it was like, it scared the shit out of me. It scared me. I was in 6th grade and 7th grade. It scared me so badly.
Did we see that together?
No, I saw that with our mom, Corky.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
All places. No, yeah. And she was like, I can't see this because it's too scary. But anyway, Ellen Ripley, so you have a very, very strong female character with the whole get away from her, you bitch, right?
Yeah.
But you raised the great point of the maternal instincts in her with Newt, like really come out. And then in a really weird way, they come out when she becomes the hybrid with the alien in Alien Resurrection, right? So there's something going on. There's something. There's a backstory there that you don't see. So I'm with you. I'm a strong advocate for that one. So I applaud your first choice for Ellen Ripley.
Well, thank you. And I reckon I should watch part 4 again because I only saw it once in the theater, and I remember thinking like, this isn't working for me, but if there's more to it that I need to investigate, then
I just love Hicks, and I love Hudson. All of them are in the Aliens movie. Yeah. I love, and God, may he rest in peace, Bill Paxton. You are my favorite Marine of all time.
Amen to that.
In George. Yeah. Okay. So my number 5, I'm going to go old school with this one, right?
Okay.
So I would like an origin story. I would like to know the background and the backstory and the coming of age story of Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate. So when we meet her in the movie The Graduate, she is this middle-aged.
She's a MILF.
Daughter's, graduated from college, college-age daughter, and she seduces the young college graduate of Dustin Hoffman. But what is it that led her to this like sexual awakening? Was it a sexual awakening? Was it vengeance or revenge for a bad marriage? What is it? What was it that caused Mrs. Robinson to be this
MILF,
like sexy, outrageously sexy woman who just was she just purely acting on the needs of a woman in a bad marriage? What was it? So I don't know. I want to know what happened. And we also kind of played this game. If I was to recast her today, I was going to recast a young Mrs. Robinson. Some may disagree with me, but I really like Emma Roberts for this. Emma Roberts of the American Horror Story franchise. So she can pull off this kind of sexy / dangerous / bad girl, but a good girl nonetheless. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn.
Like the witch character from Coven.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
She's a good girl. She's a bad girl. But so I could really see Emma Roberts playing and quite frankly, I can't remember her first name. She's just Mrs. Robinson. Does she have a first name? I don't know. But Mrs. Robinson as a college age or a newlywed young bride.
How did she meet Mr. Robinson?
How did she?
Well, we all know. We already know that old Elaine Robinson started in a Ford. We know that.
Yeah.
But is that why they got married? Because there is some hint of that, right?
And that you know what? All it takes is a hint to be like, I need to know more about this.
Annie, that is an inspired choice. I love it.
Good.
Mrs. Robinson.
There you go. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Academy Award winning performance by, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name already. Motherfucker. I'm going to go with Marge Gunderson in Fargo. Why can't I
Ah,
remember the actress's name? Frances McDormand. I'm going to go with Marge Gunderson, played by Frances McDormand in Fargo, who like is really, and I've heard, you talk about the lead actor stuff. Like Anthony Hopkins is only in Silence of the Lambs for like 17 minutes of screen time or something crazy like that. She's not in the movie nearly as much as William H. Macy is, or Steve Buscemi for that matter, but still lead role. Anyway, like when we meet,
super pregnant. Yes.
super pregnant, she's got this adorably cute husband who worships her, who paints birds that he wants to be on stamps, and he gets the 3-cent stamp. That's a beautiful thing. When they raise the postage, everybody needs the 3-cent stamp. But like, why did Margie become a cop? What was her parents like? What were her parents like? Was her dad in law enforcement? And actually, I think they do cover that in one of the Fargo TV shows, but nonetheless, it's still, it's not the same. So I want it to be it needs to be a Coen Brothers story. Like they need to write the origin story or forget it. Like nobody else can do this. But yeah, I would love to know where Margie grew up, what her childhood was like, what made her want to be a cop, and where'd she meet her sweet duck painting, stamp loving husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Go Bears.
I need to see that again because there's a TV show, a TV knockoff, right?
Yes, on FX. It does not really contain any carryover characters. It just tells a true crime sort of story within the framework. I will say that season 1 is Martin Freeman, the guy from Love Actually, the porn star from Love Actually, and Billy Bob Thornton. And I know that Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst were in one season together. Ewan McGregor has been in it. John Hamm is in the current season, which in my mind is, okay, yeah, I'm in. I'll watch.
Yeah. Yeah. You had me at Ham.
You had me at Ham. Yes. It's a ham.
Yes.
Such a ham.
I watched that. So I want to say I watched that within like a couple of years of it coming out, and I haven't seen it since, but I've wanted to see it again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Say the word wood chipper, the first thing that comes to mind is Fargo.
Yes.
or Steve Buscemi, however you pronounce it, and a wood chipper. So yeah, I need to see that again. Okay.
It's so good. It's my second favorite Coen Brothers movie.
Yes. Okay, so my number 4 is a tie.
Ooh.
They're a little bit of the same movie, but there's the element of magic that flows throughout both of them. So it's a tie for Mary Poppins / Nanny McPhee. Okay. So they're both magical nannies that come in and help a absolutely lost family find like some semblance of reason and order and love and rightness.
Yes.
Right in their life. So Mary Poppins being, of course, our beloved Julie Andrews.
Yes.
And then Nancy, our also beloved Emma Thompson. They play these magical nannies that come in with these families that are just absolutely like torn with
hot mess
in the worst situation possible. And they come in and these kids are lost. They don't know, they don't know what to do with themselves because they're sad and they're not attended to.
Their parents don't get them.
Crazy energy and crazy creativity. So, but both movies, in essence, have this magical nanny, right? Well, I want to know how that nanny became magical. I want an origin story for either one of these beautiful, wonderful presents, these women that come in and change children's lives for the better. I want to know where their magic comes from. So if I were to cast this today, I would choose Emma Watson of the Harry Potter movies because she has kind of the element of magic about her, right? She totally can wield that magic wand. We know this.
True.
But I would love to know their origin story. How did they become magical? What made them become these saviors of children and saviors of families? And I think Emma Watson is the perfect person to like personify this
Play either or both?
Either or both. Yes. She could do either of them because
So,
this amazingly British accents, this, British household, and she would just be perfect for either one, for either origin story.
well, okay.
Well, okay.
Sounds good.
I'll drop my mic on that.
Okay. So the Emily Blunt Mary Poppins, was that meant to be a prequel or a sequel?
A sequel / just they called it
A remake.
Returns.
Okay.
So Mary Returns, it was a sequel.
Okay.
Because he came back to Jane and Michael Banks when they were adult children.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Then definitely sequel.
Of course, Mary Poppins hadn't aged because she's practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect in every way.
Yes.
And now we bust out a spoonful of sugar.
That was Mary Poppins Returns. It may not have done great in the box office. That was a great movie
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
Oh, it's so good. Lin-Manuel Miranda is adorable.
I do like him.
Yes.
I'm looking at this article on the top 30 British actresses 30 and under, and they're all African American. And I don't get that. That's a little weird. Or maybe I just have a weird site in front of me, but that has me thinking about my honorable mention, which we'll get to momentarily, of course. Okay, so what is it? 3 to me. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go with, I want the college years of Catherine Trammell of Basic Instinct.
Oh.
And we get into this a little bit because we find out during the film that she and that therapist that's treating and fucking Michael Douglas, they were in school together. So they have, a past together, but like what the hell went down? And this other, like, she says often, like, everybody that I love dies. So prior to Johnny Boz getting killed, which, we never really know. Did she do it? Did Jean Triplehorn's character do it? Like, we have a theory, sure, but it's never proven. And so what the heck? So yeah, let's get them off to Berkeley and in their college years. And let's, who was the professor? How do they know each other in school? Did they or did they not sleep together? I think that Jean Triplehorn said they did. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, these things came into play, and I really would love to see that play out. And, you're so great. You already thought of casting. I don't even know where I would go with this. But because I just happened to see Emma Stone get her 5-timers jacket on YouTube this morning, I'm kind of leaning towards.
Brie Larson.
Oh, yes.
Would nail it.
That would be fantastic. And that would help me forget this Captain Marvel shit.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Yes.
Top actresses. Okay. So anyway, that's my number 3. I would love a Catherine Trammell origin story. Yeah. From college on.
Freaking genius. I love that.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the 90s with you.
Excellent.
So my number 3, I'm going to go with Louise from Thelma and Louise.
Oh,
so the character portrayed by Susan Sarandon, right? So
I love it.
A little bit about Thelma's backstory. She's married, she's got a shit husband, and they don't have kids. She's kind of, she's in this mousy wife role, but you don't know, that Louise has a trouble, that she's had some trauma. She's got PTSD, but you don't know what happened. You don't know her backstory at all.
Yeah. And what's the dealio with Michael Madsen? Like, how did they get together? And is
yes,
he the real deal, or is he just a safe guy? Right.
is he a safe guy? Or
Ooh.
is he? Yeah. So yes, I would like to know. I would like to know the origin of Louise. I would like to know how she became so distraught with men that
Yes.
was pushed to that breaking point. And I think the person that could play this, and I don't know why I think this person can do it, but Emilia Clarke, who can pull off an amazing American accent, but Emilia Clarke can play vulnerable and badass at the same time.
Yes.
Better probably than most of the actresses of her age category, if you will. So
Yeah.
I want Louise's story. I want to know more about her, because when she and Thelma
Oh,
drive off into the canyon because there is no way out. How is it that this woman, who really was just along for the ride and
right?
happened, shoot somebody because of
Yeah.
her trauma, because her past trauma? So let's find out what pushed her to that breaking point.
Fire choice. I
Yeah,
love it. That will be a great series because you could do two movies. You could do a
you
Thelma and a
really,
Louise. Although I feel you like the Louise seems like the more compelling origin story.
yeah. I mean, you could do kind of Thelma as the backstory because they are still friends, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
inevitably, like Thelma's story would get told, but it's not the primary,
Yeah.
not the primary reason for the film. But she has to have a part in it because they are best friends, and because they start off on this journey together. Louise is the one that I don't know, influences Thelma to
Well, I think
realize.
Louise is Thelma's moral compass, but Thelma is Louise's get the diamond coal out of your ass before it becomes a diamond, right?
Yeah, it's the reality check. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so who plays Brad Pitt? I'm just kidding.
Oh, Timothy Chalamet. I already put that through.
Shoot.
Sorry.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
He's hot.
I do, it reminds me of how much I really do like Michael Madsen and that I think, people take him for granted.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I do like him a lot.
yeah.
Okay. Number two for
Two.
me. Okay. This is probably my favorite Betty Davis movie. And it's a fantastic movie about show business per se. Like what are you willing to do for celebrity? And that movie is all about Eve.
Yes.
I want a Margo Channing backstory because I have a sneaking suspicion, or at least I picture it this way. Like the whole Showgirls, I'm gonna push Gina Gershon down the stairs so that I can get the role in the show. I have this, sneaking suspicion that whatever Margot did to get her big break probably
Oh
was
yeah.
not too friggin' far off of what Eve Harrington did.
Probably not.
And so I want to see how Margot came up, how did she get in the theater, what was her first role, and I also get the feeling that she has, much like Betty Davis, had multiple romances. I think Betty Davis was married 3 times or 4 times, and we
Yeah.
know in All About Eve that Gary Merrill's character is not much younger than her, but young enough. And so, yeah, I want to know where she was born. I want to know how she got to New York to be in the theater. And it would make a very fun supporting role for the dude that played Edison DeWitt, who, by the way, won Best Supporting Actor for that film, George Sanders. So we could, find a way for him to kind of sneak in there and have a small part.
Yes.
I'm right now looking at this picture of Margot Robbie, but I don't think that's who I would choose. I have Margot Robbie in mind for something else. Maybe Jennifer Lawrence. Is she too old? Keira Knightley, no. Dakota Johnson, no.
Emily Blunt,
Perhaps.
perhaps.
Felicity Jones. Well, anyway, lots of choices.
Yes.
Oh, Agnes Bruckner. Haven't seen her in a while. Anyway, that is my number 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I had that as a potential. I'm not going to lie.
You did not. I love it.
I love that movie. Like, I freaking love that movie. So,
yeah. I can watch that movie over, and over again.
Yeah. All right. So, my number 2, I'm going to go with the devilish Miranda Priestly, The Devil Wears Prada, played by Meryl Streep.
Yes. Classic.
Not your number 1. So, when you meet Miranda, she is the top dog for this. What was the name of the magazine? I don't remember. It's a fashion magazine, but
it was supposed to be Vogue. I think it's based on Vogue, but they didn't go there.
Yeah. And, she has taken her knocks. She has her twin daughters. She has trouble in her marriage, but she is, obviously had to fight some shit to rise to the level that she did. So, because women don't rise to power without having to go through some shit, right?
Amen to that. Yes, so true.
The friendship that she has with Stanley Tucci in the movie, I would love to know more about their relationship, how they came up together, because I imagine there was probably some tit for tat, some ways that they helped each other out through grueling, climbing to the top years.
Oh yeah.
But she's a fantastic, and we actually they use a clip. I don't know how to say they use a clip of that movie to teach leadership because of the way that she tries to develop this subordinate, if you will, Anne Hathaway, because you're like Anne Hathaway, you're not embracing the culture of this organization. You're not embracing what it is to be a part of our family. So you need to learn what it is to be a part of us.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Miranda, in being, she's not toxic. She and a lot of women in that position, they have this. If they have a certain leadership style, then they're viewed as toxic or a bitch. But if a man came in and did the same thing, he'd be viewed as a strong leader.
Exactly. Yeah.
Miranda Priestley is a very, very, very strong leader who finds a way to, whether it's through inspiration or threats or whatever it is that she does to bring about the best in people, she does that. But I want to know, how did she learn that? Because I guarantee you there are so many stories that Miranda dealt with, so many vignettes, so many examples of how Miranda learned to be a great leader through really bad leaders.
Yeah.
That there are so many things that she endured in her college 30s, 40s years before. I mean, I'm going to guess that her character is 50-ish in the film because she has twins.
Yeah, that would be legit, I think. Yeah.
And I could totally see Emma Stone playing that character.
Yeah, that would be great.
I can near see Emily Blunt, but I can't use Emily Blunt because
Emily Blunt was the assistant. Yeah.
But Emma, who's probably one of my top 3 favorite actresses of today, along with Emilia Clarke, because those two, in my mind, they can do no wrong. They could play any character. I could easily reverse the roles and say either one of them could do either of the, my number 2 or number 3 picks. But
yeah,
Emma
totally
really pull off, because she was fantastic in Cruella. Let me just say that. She's fantastic in everything she does, but she could pull off this young Miranda rise to power, rise to not power necessarily, but rise to the level of leadership that she has earned.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy journey.
Yeah.
So I love to know what that journey was for Miranda Priestly.
Oh, I do love that. That is delightful.
Yes.
Okay, so honorable mention. Holy crap. So I want to say I have this on my list, but part of me is kind of like, I don't know that there can be an origin story for this person because this is actually a real person who did live on this planet. And that is Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine. But I'm thinking The Lion in Winter and that Eleanor as Katharine Hepburn. But I can go on Wikipedia and find out her origin story. It would be fun to have a film of that. So, God, it's my toss up. Who do I go with? I'm going to go with the Bisbee, Arizona transplant to LA, Lynn Bracken of LA Confidential. So Kim Basinger won the Oscar for this. It is her. She will never be again as good as she was in this movie. But, you know, the hooker with the heart of gold, if you want to call her that. Veronica Lake lookalike who falls for Bud White and kind of helps him find his confidence in, like, I can be more than a cop that just is muscle. You know, I'm smart. I can solve things. And she is, you know, she is his self-esteem, his, oh, there's a word for it. I can't remember now because I have brain fog because I'm postmenopausal. Anyway, I would love to meet Lynn Bracken back in Bisbee, Arizona. What was her family life like? How did she grow up? And what in the Sam Hell made her come to Hollywood? Because I'm guessing it was not to be a hooker who happened to look like Veronica Lake. She probably came there like most starlets do. Like, I want to be in Hollywood. I want to make motion pictures. So what was that process like for her? You know, at some point she has to meet Pierce Pratchett. So how did that go down? And then, you know, we know the rest. So she walks into that liquor store and sees Bud at the corner of, oh, so sexy. I love that movie so much. I will continue to say till the day I die that it is a crime that Titanic won Best Picture over LA Confidential, because there is no way in a fucking million years that Titanic is a better movie than LA Confidential. And there I said my piece. Okay, that's my honorable mention. Lynn Bracken, Fleur de Lis.
That is okay. I'm on board. I got to watch that again. It's been a hot minute.
It's on Netflix. It's currently on Netflix. Love it.
My honorable mention is a Stephen King character, and that movie would be Misery. I would love to know the backstory of Miss Annie Wilkes.
I love it.
Insane #1 fan of Paul Sheldon. Oh, Paul. You know, I want, you know, when you watch the movie, do you wonder, did she set up for him to wreck his car so that she could kidnap him essentially and hostage? But there, you know, what is it that led her to this? What is it that led her to
this crazy place of
hobbling woman? Because she would say, you know, I guess you kind of find out that she's a little bit of a nurse who is what do you call it? An angel of mercy. She off as an angel of mercy, but oh my God, there's so much behind her that we don't really find out, other than she's batshit crazy. And you know, we need to know, how did Annie Wilkes become Annie Wilkes?
Annie Wilkes, right. And living out in that, you know, in the middle of nowhere in that cabin, all of the things. God. Yeah.
She moved there because she knew Paul Sheldon, like, did his novel writing in that, Silver Creek, Colorado. You know, moved there just to write, you know.
For real.
You have to wonder about all of her motivations, because you don't find out how she managed to put all of it together, only that she did. And she was a nut. How did she become a nut? So there you go. That's my honorable mention. Annie Wilkes.
Wow. That's a good one.
Miss Annie.
Miss Annie.
Okay. You're number one.
My number one, settling on it. I'm going with it. I'm going with the Academy Award winning Faye Dunaway, Diana Christensen from Network. So Diana Christensen is the new head of programming. So she is the one that's coming up with UBS's, new fall shows back when, when we had just, a fall season and you watched regular television every week and you didn't tape anything. And the Nielsen rating and the shares, the rating and the share is like all they talk about in this movie. But anyway, so she's coming in. She's fairly young, but established enough to have this high position at a major. You had ABC, CBS, NBC, and UBS, fake, kind of like probably what Fox was in the beginning, but maybe not so much now. And I thought of it as like, well, that they're the WGN or they're the WTTW of New York in the 70s. But nonetheless, she's the head of programming and she's come into this basically failing network that doesn't have a single show in the top 10. Where did she go to college? If she did, where'd she go to college? What were these other relationships that she's had with men where she identifies herself as having, a masculine temperament with sex? How'd she get hired at UBS? And, did she sleep her way to the top like has been insinuated in this movie? It is an incredibly powerful character. It's probably the second best thing Faye Dunaway ever did. I have to go with Bonnie and Clyde being like the penultimate Faye Dunaway movie. But Network is one of my very favorite movies in the history of my life. It really does get into the concept of what reality TV could have been if it was invented in the 70s with the Howard Beale show and the Mao Zedong hour with, the terrorists robbing banks. And we're going to show this live footage on TV and what happens next. But I think that is the origin story I would really like to see told. And I do believe that is the character that I would like Margot Robbie to be cast as. Seeing as how I did not do my homework with this all in terms of casting things. You're fantastic with that. And I didn't think about that at all. But nonetheless, I think that would be a great story to tell.
I love it. I've seen that once. I need to see it again. So yeah. Okay. My number one.
All right.
Female origin story. I have to, just by the very essence of my being, I have to go with Trinity from The Matrix.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that.
The Neo's transformation from when he comes out of the collective, if you will, with not fresh with the, fresh getting his port pulled out of the, his whatever you call that junction between his head and the wiring, whatever.
Yeah, the whole plug-in thing. That's just really scary. It's like this huge lance that's going in the back of your head.
Fuck, right? Yeah. So how did this little thing with zero muscle mass to be able to say, I know Kung Fu and whip the shit out of some agents, right? And inevitably becoming the one. However, Trinity, long before him, she schooled him and she was a freaking badass and is the one that's leaping over from building to building and doing the leg thing and the in the leather, and she's hot as fuck. Carrie-Anne Moss, no one's ever going to be as hot or badass as Carrie-Anne Moss. So it's it's even hard to even say who could possibly be cast as a young Carrie-Anne Moss.
Oh, I got one for you.
I'm going with Gal Gadot. She can be badass.
I could see that. I was looking at Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, that was my second. That was my other one. Because she, Elizabeth Olsen favors her more, with her features, right? Yeah. And also can do, totally badass. No, okay, I'm with you. Elizabeth Olsen, definitely. And that makes all of my 5 recasts with the first name that starts with an E. So I stand corrected. Elizabeth Olsen is totally the young Trinity who is reborn from her from her pod and
Right.
learn the master of the Matrix and knows all of the badass moves that she does. And lo and behold, she finds out from the oh god, from the person, what's her name? Not the prophet, but help me out.
The Oracle.
From the Oracle.
From the Oracle.
That she's gonna fall in love with the one.
With the one. Oh yes.
Okay, Elizabeth Olsen is my gal. So all of my recasts, all of their first names start with an E. There's
insane.
But Trinity, I mean, just when that was the first movie I owned on DVD. So already,
really?
Movie itself, The Matrix, was already like such a piece of art and like things that we'd never seen before in film.
So true.
And she was just absolutely like, oh my God, she, like, every woman, if you weren't like trying to work out to fit into some leather pants after watching that movie with you,
there was something wrong with you for sure.
I want to look like her, then you wanted to have sex with her. I mean, that's every on the planet pretty much.
Yeah, so true.
So I love her, and I'm going with only the first movie, The Matrix, because I know that there were others and there's mixed feelings about 2, 3, and the whatever.
Yeah, not a fan.
Just the first one. She is hands down one of my all-time favorite female characters on film because she is badass, but she is also maternal, and she's also a loving, and she wants to be loved. And there's like the vulnerability there, but it doesn't make her less powerful. And that's one of the things I love about her. So yeah. Let's see Trinity's rise to badassdom. Let's see that.
I love it. Okay, so if Elizabeth Olsen's going to be Trinity,
yeah,
how do we feel about Kristen Stewart as Ellen Ripley?
You know what? Yes, because she can play kind of that subdued and non-emotional, young, detached. Because Ripley is detached, even with her care for Newt, she's a detached. Yes, but you know what? People give Kristen Stewart a lot of shit. She's phenomenal. She's
a very good actress. I mean, if you put away the Twilight thing and see her for the other things that she's done. I didn't see the Diana movie, the Spencer movie, but I actually did just watch her in a movie about the French. Well, she's not a French actress, actually. She was in a lot of French films. Now I can't remember the name of the film. It's on Amazon. I will put it in the show notes. But she was tremendous in this role. And she was Joan Jett. Give me a friggin' break. Like, that's a big deal. To pull off these, rock people. Totally.
And you know what? God damn it. She just, like, when you ask her dumb questions during an interview, just leave her alone. Don't ask her about her haircut. I mean, come on.
Agreed.
So, but I do have the perfect cast. I don't have a good one for Marge. I got a great one for Catherine Tremmel. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Cara Delevingne. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She was a model, and then she did a movie called Paper Towns, and then she was in, look her up, Cara Delevingne, Vigne, Delevingne. She fucking Catherine Tremmel in college. Nice. God. She is awesome.
Well, I know who I want for Marge Gunderson now.
Okay.
I think I want Anna Kendrick.
Oh, I love that.
Because Marge is kind of funny, kind of offbeat.
Yes.
And Anna Kendrick can do comedy really well.
The accent.
So that's kind of where my brain is there.
I really love it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So let's recap. You go first.
Honorable mention, Annie Wilkes, Misery. How'd you become so batshit crazy? Mrs. Robinson from 5 to 1. Mrs. Robinson, The Graduate. How'd you become such a freaking hot MILF? I want Emma Roberts to play that. Tie between Mary Poppins and Annie McPhee. How'd you become the magical nanny with Emma Watson? Louise, Why Are You So Jaded with Emilia Clarke. I Miranda Priestly, The Devil Wears Prada, How Did You Become So Powerful with Emma Stone, and Trinity from The Matrix, How Did You Become So Badass with Elizabeth Olsen.
Nice. Okay, so my honorable mention was Lynn Bracken, and I'm kind of thinking maybe Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh,
it just popped into my head. Then 5, Ellen Ripley, Kristen Stewart. 4, Marge Gunderson, Anna Kendrick. 3, Catherine Trammell. Whoever your recommendation was, I'll go with it. Margo Channing at 2. Jury's still out on that, but my number 1, Diana Christensen, Margot Robbie. I think that would be delightful with a capital D light.
I love it. She is fantastic.
This is a super fun list, Annie. My gosh.
Love it.
Good time. So I'm going to put this in the booked, and hopefully I can edit it before I go to bed, but I'm not holding my breath. Nonetheless, you have been listening to the Top 5 podcast. I'm Kris McPeak, and she is Annie Pruitt. And hey, there'll be another show soon, and we don't know what it will be about, but it'll be pretty freaking fun, and you'll either like it or you don't, but we don't care. I mean, we do, but we don't. We love you anyway. Thank you for downloading this week's episode. Annie, what do you want to say as we ride out into the sunset?
Totes. Okay,
so maybe TV shows get origin stories next, because I have a couple really good ones.
That's a good one. No, so my farewell words for this evening is, this is like the highlight of my crazy busy life right now. So I absolutely love doing this, hands down. Any chance I get to talk about pop culture in any way, shape, or form, I freaking love it. So thank you, my adorable, wonderful, loving big sister, for letting me be a part of this. So I love you.
Sucks, Annie. I love you too. And thank you for being on board, as always. Best co-host ever. So anyway, like I said, she's Annie.
Oh, wait. I got it. Who's going to play Margo Channing? All About Eve.
Okay. Mila Kunis?
Yes. She's got eyes, right?
The eyes for shizzle.
She can pull off like sexy and wicked and also a little bit cunning, but also I'm gonna fuck you up and you're gonna feel good about it.
That's right. Damn straight. I like her. Did you see Luckiest Girl Alive on Netflix? That was a pretty good show.
I haven't seen that. I heard that I need to have like a box of tissues, and I don't want to do box of tissues movies.
Yeah, so it's pretty heavy. But the adorable Finn Wittrock is in it. He plays the fiance. Storbs. Okay, so anyway, we're going to actually end the show now. So for Annie, I'm Kris, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Fantastic.